Hello and welcome to Talk Studio. This is Archon Chakraborty, and today I have with us a very special guest, Mr. Shibendu Das, who has been in the field of journalism for the last 10 years. Sir, tell me something about your experiences, how you started this career and how it has been altogether.
Okay, thank you for having me over here, first of all. As a journalist, I started way back in 2006, and when I started, I was completely into editorial and production. So my work profile was more of into production team. But then I started my print career, so with Hindustan Times in 2008, and then I moved on to the Telegraph newspaper in 2010. 2010 onwards, I have been with the Telegraph newspaper. Last year, I had left the organization, and now I'm freelancing as a journalist. So yeah, this is more or less how my journalistic career has been. And the last 6-7 years, I was more into feature journalism, writing primarily about food and a little bit about theatre and other performing arts.
As you're telling that you have been writing in the genre of food for the last 5-6 years. So, you think the entire circle is still unexplored, or there is something that the food journalist should focus on at this point of time?
That's a very good question. Actually, when newcomers in this field, they approach food journalism, some of them, I won't say everybody, but some of them have an idea that, food journalism is only about food reviews and going to restaurants and writing about what you get on the menu. But honestly, food journalism is much, much more than just food reviews. In fact, food is a very primary, basic need of human beings, and if you look at it, there is so much to write about it that it's overwhelming. Yes, I would love to see that more writers and more journalists that are writing on food these days, they shift their focus from just fine dining and get into the seriousness of food business. So in fact, last year only, I was really fascinated to think about that when the migration happened from Bangladesh to India during our partition days, what happened to those people, those Bengali Hindus who went up to the northeast of India? They didn't reach a land in among Bengalis. They had come to a land, they had reached a land where there were a lot of tribal people living in. Their food system was different. The ingredients were different. Their the topography was different. The climate was different. At that point of time, how would have these Bengalis who had migrated from Bangladesh to that part of the country, how they adapted to that change?
Right. So, if I am a food enthusiast and I am interested to work in this genre, how should I prepare myself?
A, you need to love food. B, you need to be open enough in your mind to understand all the nitty-gritties related to the food industry. And C is get outside food and just enjoy life and see life in all its different colors and variations. And in everywhere you will find a reflection of food that you are taking.
Time for a short break, and we'll be back soon.
Meet Kavya. She lives away from her family,
First time.
but very close to their hearts. On the family's WhatsApp group. Birthdays, exams, medicines. She forgets nothing. She celebrates festivals
Pretty now?
and even makes everyone laugh. But today, she's a little serious. Fufaji has forwarded some random fake news on the family group. Kavya called him right away
Fufaji, namaste. Do you have some proof for that message or did you just forward
I
it?
just received it on some random group.
and made him understand that fake news can cause violence.
We shouldn't circulate something dangerous, right?
She convinced Fufaji to leave that group. And then, it was time for Dadaji's birthday. Be like Kavya. Share joy, not rumors.
Welcome back. Shifting the focus from food, sir, how much do you think that as a working journalist that Indian media is unbiased, or you can say neutral?
If you are talking about the mainstream Indian media, so there was a time when there was not much difference between mainstream and parallel. But today it is a very important thing that when we talking media, whether we are discussing the mainstream media or we are talking about the parallel media. Now, the thing is, of course, today's media, if we see, like it's anybody's guess that Indian media is not very neutral, the mainstream media. Now, the problem with reporting or journalism is the main fundamental thing about journalism that we had been taught in our school days or college days is that if you are reporting something, you are reporting the fact. There is no place for bias, there is no place for your views. Right? So that is what journalism should be. If I can see an event, I will just report what is happening without taking sides. Now the problem is in today's media and today how the consumption of media is happening, we need to add to that reportage a flavor, the flavor or an analysis. Now this is where the chance of getting biased comes in. Now again, it is not that this is something that is new to this field. This has always been there, that to provide an analysis, we need to take sides. But we had always been taught that, you know, if you are giving an analysis or if you are putting in an extra view apart from just the raw facts, then you take both the sides. So if I am talking about a crime, I need to have the opinions of all the sides, from the police, from the person who has been accused to the accuser. Every side has to be you need to have a balanced thing, which I definitely feel is lacking today. And yeah, journalists need to be more conscious about their role, because that is where the string of fake news starts coming into, and we start believing. So, you know, there is a thin line between journalism and propaganda. So we need to put a check on that, definitely.
So what do you think? The era of newspaper is fading out and it is more digital now?
See, this is a very interesting question, because if we see that already in the Western countries, newspapers are running a huge loss. Newspaper now today, digital media is the media of the future. I think instead of focusing on whether newspaper will exist or newspaper will fade out, we should focus on like the content and the quality of the content. Newspaper is just a tool for the disseminating the content. Now, instead of focusing on the tool, if we focus on the quality of the content that you are trying to get across, then it doesn't matter whether the tool is, today's tool will definitely go out tomorrow and some new tool will come out. Today it is digital media, tomorrow it can be something completely different. So then if you are somebody, our business is content. So this is our source of sustenance. If we constantly focus on the quality of the content, then no matter what media is coming, whether it's newspaper, television was there, television is on its way out also. So the tools will keep changing, but the content and the need for quality content will be there always. So instead of focusing on the tools, I think we can focus on the quality of the content. That is more important.
Right, sir. Yeah. So the thing is, with the advent of the social media, everybody is a journalist now. So your views on the citizen journalism and the things associated.
See, it has both its pros and cons. The first thing is, when I get a piece of news from somebody staying at a particular place, so that has kind of an authenticity to it. But at the same time, this entire thing can be misutilized and can be used to spread fake news. So there has to be some checks and balances to keep fake news out and to get real news in. And I must say that the entire news industry is also fighting. We do not have, there is not a very proven rule that, you know, this is how it can be done. Everybody is trying to put in those checks and balances.
As a senior professional in this field who has been working in this field for the past 10-12 years, so what will be your advice for the young professionals who are trying to get into this field?
The same advice that we got when we were students, that the primary thing that you need to keep in mind when you are entering this profession is that be honest to your profession and be always willing to learn. Learning never stops, and also at the same time respect what you are doing and the people with whom you are working, and respect that this is what you are doing is affecting millions of people out there. So you have a tremendous responsibility as a journalist on your shoulder. You cannot get away with it, and that's why, you know, it doesn't matter whether you're working for a newspaper or an online digital platform or some artificial intelligence office or anything else. But if you are true to your work, that is the most important and most required trait in any journalist. Technical details you will be able to learn in any institute. You will be able to learn on the field. But the honesty and truthfulness and you know, genuinity of your approach towards this profession is something that cannot be taught. It has to come from within. And if you are really, if you remain honest to your work, then you will flourish. You will go into the depth of the news. You will be able to write about or talk about, or like whichever way, present the truth in its vital form. So yeah, so just be honest to what you are doing and respect what you are doing.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for being here. It was amazing having you, and thank you so much for your time.
Thank you for
Thank
having
you so
me,
much.
Mohit.
Next episode, we'll be back with another eminent personality. Hope you like it and stay tuned with us.